Everyone. Justin Trudeau has shuffled his cabinet again this morning, and shuffling the cabinet just means moving an MP, any MP, into cabinet position, which is the top position that you can occupy in cabinet, right? If you're a cabinet minister, you are executing the prime minister's vision in whatever portfolio or file you're looking after, right? So that gives you a cabinet position. So that's all that is. And because Miss Philpott resigned, Mr. Trudeau had an opening in his cabinet and he needed to fill it. So that's a cabinet shuffle. And not to say it's unprecedented to have 3 cabinet shuffles in 3 months, but it's not usual when people keep quitting on you like that. It's not a sign of a good government. But I'm going to show you some weird things in here and some stuff that I'm going to make a note to do another video on because it's too big of a topic to get into during this video. But I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. Here's CBC News reporting, quote, Trudeau appoints Joyce Murray as Treasury Board President. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has appointed Joyce Murray as Treasury Board President, filling the vacancy left by the abrupt resignation of Jane Philpott. I scroll down. Philpott quit cabinet at the beginning of the month, citing a loss of confidence in how the government has responded to the SNC-Lavalin affair, where the former Attorney General and Justice Minister, Jody Wilson-Raybould, alleges she was inappropriately pressured to help the Quebec company secure a special legal agreement over charges of bribery and fraud. This is the 3rd cabinet shuffle in 3 months for the Prime Minister after a domino effect of resignations, starting with former Treasury Board President Scott Bryson, then Wilson-Raybould from her new posting at Veterans Affairs, then Philpott. Bryson had retired from federal politics, and the 2 women have expressed their intention to stay in the Liberal caucus despite leaving Trudeau's top team. Trudeau did not answer questions from reporters at Rideau Hall. He welcomed Marie to cabinet on Twitter, calling her, quote, a trusted voice for her community, and noting she had spent 25 years as a successful businesswoman and environmental advocate. And here's the weird part. Philpott also tweeted congratulations to her successor. And here's Philpott's tweet. It says, congratulations to @Joyce Murray, new president of the Treasury Board and Minister of Digital Government. You will be great. Felicitations. And what is digital government? What is that? So that's going to be, look for that video in the coming days anyway, because I want to find out what that is, because that's concerning to me. And not that I haven't heard that before, but what is that? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Does that mean they're harvesting our data and sending it on through StatsCan to some company to who, right? What's it going to? What are they collecting? What are they doing? I don't know. So I'm going to look into it. Okay, back to the article. On March 4th, the day after Philpott resigned, Murray issued an open letter to her constituents expressing, quote, absolute confidence in the integrity of the Prime Minister. She praised the work the Liberal caucus is doing on issues like climate action, poverty alleviation, housing affordability, and reconciliation with Indigenous peoples, among other things. She said that under Trudeau's leadership, Liberals have had, quote, wide latitude to express and to vote their views, even when they are not aligned with the government's perspective. Right. Sure. Except that he kicks you out of cabinet if you tell him no when you're asked to break the law, right? So it seems pretty disingenuous. And taking a cabinet position in this gong show, really? I don't know. So very, very strange. I think all of these resignations, Trudeau is, I don't know. I've heard such conflicting things. On one side, people are saying he's going to call an election. On the other side, people are saying if he calls an election now, he's shooting himself in the foot. Like he wouldn't gain anything other than reduce. I guess he would reduce the amount of scandals because Mark Norman's coming up. And if he calls an election, this SNC thing becomes something the voters have to deal with, right? If he gets reelected and returns to office and gives SNC a deal, well, the voters pretty much knew he was going to do that. So, unless he doesn't answer the question on the campaign trail, or if he campaigns on, transparency and rule of law. I mean, I wonder how he fields those questions, really. Okay, here's CBC reporting. I told you yesterday, sorry, not CBC reporting, this is me first. I told you yesterday that the Conservatives were going to do all of their legal and House maneuvering today, Monday, but the Liberals quashed that because the Liberals are in majority and they found out about these plans because the Conservatives have to file the plans before they happen, and the Liberals just changed the day. So I'll let the news article explain what happened, but basically the Conservatives had Monday as the day where they were going to get to set the agenda, and they were going to have the agenda basically doing financial votes, fiscal votes, which every fiscal vote is a confidence vote, and so Liberals have to be there to vote. So it was going to be a long day and potentially holding up the budget. And the Liberals decided to changed the day that they could do that to Wednesday. So they get to do that on Wednesday, so it won't impact the budget. And while the news cycle will have moved on, potentially, well, if Justin Trudeau gets his wish, he's hoping the budget is going to reset the SNC-Lavalin problem, right? And if he triggers an election, I mean, he can run on SNC-Lavalin. Sure. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Trudeau. That's a fantastic idea. Please run on breaking the law and allowing your crony buddies to break the law. I would love it. I would love it. Really, it would be fantastic. So anyway, what he gains is Mark Norman's trial not becoming an issue, and he gets to deal with SNC and then say, if he wins, see, the voter said I could do it. So that's what he gains by doing this. So I think there's a good case to be made for an early election, but I don't know. I think he loses the election. I think that he loses it, right? So anyway, neither here nor there. Back to the article, the new article I'm talking about. CBC News is reporting Liberals thwart Conservative attempts to delay budget unless Wilson-Raybould makes second appearance. The Liberals have stepped in to thwart Conservative plans to stall the federal budget in retaliation if the Liberal majority of the House of Commons Justice Committee blocks Jody Wilson-Raybould from testifying again. On Sunday, finance critic Pierre Poilievre said that the party would use every parliamentary tool in their toolkit to end the cover-up and let her speak about the ongoing SNC-Lavalin affair. The Conservatives were set up to potentially trigger a marathon voting session in the House of Commons on Monday that could have delayed the tabling of the budget until the government stepped in. Because the tactics are only allowed on set, quote, opposition days, where the other parties get to set the agenda and the topic for debate, the Liberals tweaked the schedule to make Wednesday the opposition day instead of Monday. Then they informed the other parties. Our government will act responsibly to ensure the budget, which will help Canadians, is introduced on Tuesday as planned, Mark Kennedy of the Government House Leader's Office said in a statement to CBC News. Conservative House Leader Candice Bergen accused the Liberals of trying to cover up Trudeau's involvement in the SNC-Lavalin affair. Quote, "We know Mr. Trudeau is desperate to change the channel on the SNC-Lavalin affair, but Canadians have legitimate questions and they won't be distracted by his budget," she said in a statement. The Tories had put forward opposed views on previously announced federal initiatives, each of which would have necessitated a vote in the House. They tabled 257 opposed views for Monday, but now can only act on them on Wednesday. Each of these votes is a fiscal matter, so every vote is a vote of confidence, which would keep Liberal MPs close to their seats. A loss of confidence would trigger an election. Because of the sheer number of votes, the sitting Commons could have extended overnight Monday, similar to what the Conservatives did last March in retaliation after Liberals opposed having Trudeau's national security advisor talk to committee about his India trip. If the sitting was extended, it could have potentially delayed the budget. But the point Andrew Scheer's party is trying to make is more about SNC-Lavalin than the budget. All eyes should be on those closed doors at the Justice Committee meeting, Poilievre said. If the Prime Minister thinks Canadians will quietly let him shut down the investigation, he's in for a terrible surprise next week. The committee is scheduled to meet in private Tuesday morning, ahead of the unveiling of the federal budget for 2019. The former Justice Minister and Attorney General addressed the committee last month, offering unprecedented testimony, alleging the Prime Minister, members of his top staff, and other government officials had pressured her to help secure a special legal agreement for SNC-Lavalin, through the Director of Public Prosecutions. The company is facing bribery and corruption charges that could lead to it being barred from bidding on federal contracts, affecting thousands of jobs. Budget 2019 comes in a high stakes election year and could be as much about shoring up the sliding Liberal support as it is about fiscal policy. Well, the 2018 budget was not at all about fiscal policy. It was about gender, which makes absolutely no sense because gender has nothing to do with budgets. It's ridiculous. So I wonder what this budget will be. The senior budget? They'll probably name it something like that and give seniors a whole bunch of reason to vote Liberal. But I don't think that anybody's really buying it because this guy is a snake oil salesman. He's a con man, a grifter. And people call Trump a con man and grifter. But this guy is selling, I don't know exactly what he's selling anymore. At the beginning, he was selling transparency and good governance and better governance than Mr. Harper. And now he's saying open borders, rule of law, and the UN, and maybe open borders in Quebec and everywhere else. And who else wants some Canadian money? Anybody want some Canadian money? And what crisis? There's no crisis. So yeah, this guy's, I don't know what he's running on. It's going to be a goodie budget tomorrow. I think it's going to be full of gifts targeting specific demographics that they've identified as people they want to get out the vote. But it's going to fail. I think it's going to fail. Everybody sees through him. Well, I hope everybody sees through him. He's nothing more than an empty suit. And I think the puppet master is busy with other things at this point in time. But I do know that the more I look online, the more Twitter threads I read, the more it seems Canadians across the country are sick of this guy's crap. So bye-bye, Justin Trudeau. It can't come soon enough. I hope you trigger an early election. And I just hope that all of the parties are ready to go. I'm ready. Let's go. Like, really. But I understand there's other things that need to be, all ducks need to be in a row. So who knows? Who knows? We'll have to see. So anyway, budget tomorrow. That's the next big thing. And well, I mean, we'll see if there's another bombshell today. That'll be fun too. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the People's Party of Canada.ca. I really do feel like Maxime Bernier has the best policies, and I think he's more popular than it looks, like in the polls and things. I really do. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.